Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday Health Show. I'm your host, Dr. Kala Hewlett from the Back Pain and Joint Center of Texas. And we are still in August, where it's Overdose Awareness Month. Every year, over 90,000 Americans die from overdose. About 70,000 plus deaths are due to opioids. And here in Texas, we have over 4,000 deaths every year as well due to this crisis. And so throughout this month, we've brought to you multiple interviews from people in different spaces regarding addiction and helping people in various ways. And I'm really excited for our special guest today, Janelle from PAL, Parents of Loved Ones. Parents of Addicted Loved Ones. Janelle, welcome to our show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell me a little bit about PAL.
Okay, Parents of Addicted Loved Ones was started by a gentleman called Mike Speakman. He's in Phoenix, Arizona. Back around 2006, I believe, they started parent meetings, basically because of the same reason that I wanted to bring PAL here. Was Al-Anon is wonderful for families of dealing with loved ones who are addicted, but the parent-child relationship is a unique one. And so there's some things that get missed a little bit with Al-Anon, that we don't divorce our children. And if our children are still under our roof as youngsters and they're caught up in substances, then there's a unique way of trying to parent that isn't, you don't learn that in Al-Anon.
So for those watching that may not be familiar with Al-Anon, you would just talk a little bit what that is, and then we'll go back to PAL.
Yeah, sure. Al-Anon is the group, the meetings that partner with AA. So AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, everybody's pretty much heard of that. That's for the alcoholic or the addict to attend. Family members don't typically attend those meetings, but Al-Anon is for the family members. So spouses, kids, parents, anybody can attend an Al-Anon meeting. Whether you have an addicted loved one or not, I don't know why you would if you didn't, but you can learn a lot from an Al-Anon, and those are 12-step programs, and they're extremely, extremely effective and wonderful.
And out of that, you said that there's a specific subset of parents. Like I said, if you have someone who's at home who's a teenager who you love, and gosh, there's just something unique about being a parent.
Absolutely.
Now, you had a personal journey that brought you to this. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Would you mind just sharing a little bit about your experience with your daughter?
Sure. My daughter was 17 when she went into drug addiction treatment. I ended up having to send her to Arizona, and that's where she went into treatment. She was she didn't graduate high school. She didn't make it that far. So, but she had to drop out of school. She had to go to treatment. She was in treatment for 10 months, came home to Texas, relapsed. And that was when I think the pieces kind of finally fit together, that this was something that you don't send your child or your loved one to treatment and they're going to fix all the problems and they're going to come back home and everything's going to be great. That's not reality. And so when she relapsed, it was such a shock, and it was a bad one, but she came out of it. And we got to work. We got to work finding help, finding support for her, and then finding support for me. I went to Al-Anon for a while, and I really, really loved it. But what I saw were other parents like me who didn't have the background that I had gotten from my daughter's treatment. So we had parent meetings every Thursday night with her treatment. So I had already been very familiar with the parent-child relationship in an addictive relationship, codependency, all of that stuff. So in Al-Anon, you get some of that, but you don't get it specific to that relationship. So what I saw were other parents like that. And then I ended up deciding we need to bring the parent meetings here. There are parents who need this.
And here we are, we're in the Houston market. And you mentioned before we started recording here, we're in the Houston market, which is actually the largest distribution center for drugs in America. From talking to some of those law enforcement individuals we've interviewed this past month. So here we are, one of the largest cities in the country, one of the largest centers for drug distribution. And how many parents of addicted loved ones groups we're currently meeting in the Houston area? when you looked
Zero.
into it?
There was
Zero.
not a meeting within 50 miles of Houston, which I broke down in tears. I couldn't believe it. I can't imagine going through what I went through with my own child and not having the support of other parents just like me, other families just like ours. And because you feel so isolated and alone, nobody can possibly understand what you feel like as a parent when you're afraid for the life of your child who is taking drugs, using drugs daily. People mean well, but if they are not living that, they cannot give you good advice and they cannot understand how that feels. So it's just vitally important to support other parents who are having the same experiences.
So how long ago so you founded the first, so I say founded, but you spearheaded, because this is a group that has multiple locations, but for Houston, yes, you founded or started the first support group. How long ago was that?
2 years ago in July,
Okay.
2019, I did.
That is awesome. I'm sure it's been a great blessing to many parents, because like I said, being a parent, unless you have a child, it's a unique experience being a parent, period. I have 4 kids myself, and just even hearing your story, I think of my children and just, gosh, it gets me emotional just thinking about, what you would go through as a parent when that was happening. So you guys have been here for 2 years now.
Yes.
And what does it look like? Do you meet once a month, once a week, quarterly?
Nope. We meet in person every week on Tuesday nights from 6:30 to 8. A lot of times we go over. If I have parents that want to share and want to talk, I don't make them stop at 8 o'clock. So we'll just keep going if we need to. But it's really been, I don't want people to think that we come to this meeting and it's very solemn and it's very sad and all of that. We have times where it is, but you know what? We also laugh a lot, and we have met wonderful friends and people that we actually would want to spend time with outside of the meeting. And it's been a huge blessing to me to be able to give back some of the tools that I was given when my daughter was in treatment. I can tell you, I've been very surprised at how little support my parents have gotten to this point. And some of our parents have had children who have been addicted for 20 plus years, and they've never been given some of the information that PAL offers in PAL meetings, the education about addiction, about healthy relationships, about the recovery process. That's not typical information that people are getting, and it's necessary.
For some individuals I talk to, there's a certain amount of shame at times where they're embarrassed that, gosh, that's not our family, and so they don't really talk about it much, and they silently suffer. So if someone's watching this and they fall into that category right now, where they have an addicted loved one, but they really haven't talked much about it, what would you say to that person?
I would say, please reach out. I promise you that it's a safe environment, and we will all understand you better than you think. And we can help you, we can support you, and we want to do that. We want to be that for you.
That's awesome. If someone wants to connect with your support group, how do they reach out to you?
Call me on my cell or send me a text, 832-492-8518. Also my email, JN as in Nancy, EL as in Larry, Martin, MARTIN @gmail.com. Mosaics of Mercy will also give you information if you want to call them directly. And the PAL website too, www.palgroup.org. On their website, there's information, and then also there's a button you can click to find a meeting in your area.
Okay, perfect. What we'll do is we'll include links. So if someone's listening right now while they're driving, don't worry.
Yeah.
When you park the car, we'll have all the info so you can connect with her and PAL. And so can they just connect with you and show up? Is there a registration process?
Just show up. You can call me first if you want to talk to me before you come, if that helps you. I'm fine with that. I have people both ways. So I know walking through that door the first time is really hard. I understand that. We all understand that. So, but just know when you come in, you'll be glad that you did.
There's so many wonderful resources out there like the one you provide. And it's so important just to help get the word out and get the message out, because people are suffering. They don't know where to turn. They don't know that there's a PAL meeting. You were the first one in Houston to bring it.
Yeah.
So thank you for dedicating so much of your time, energy, and efforts to helping other parents navigate the waters of addiction with their loved ones. If someone's watching this and maybe they're not where a PAL group is, and they've been battling, their loved ones been battling addiction, what's maybe some advice that you would give to a parent watching this right now?
Oh gosh, I would reach out in some way. Surely there's an Al-Anon meeting, if nothing else. I have attended those. They're helpful.
Okay.
12-step programs are helpful. Also, if you go to the PAL website, you probably can find a Zoom meeting or an online meeting to attend. And I would recommend doing both, because why not? You have options, and you can end up attending the meeting that you like the best or get the most out of. It's unique to you. So reach out and find what will help you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. The big message that I hear from you is you're not alone.
No.
You're not alone. And so parents, you are not alone. This is something that, again, 90,000 deaths a year. This affects millions of individuals. And so being able to connect with parents who are going through the same thing, who have, helped their children and now are on the other side of it. Still, I'm sure there's struggles that your daughter has, but being able to help them through different phases, I think is just tremendous. So
Definitely.
Thank you again for your time. And we wish you the best on the spectrum of things that really matter most in life. Janelle, I think you are very high up there and impacting lives in a very, very positive manner. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. You guys, make sure you stay connected with us throughout the rest of this month. We have multiple events and activities to help bring awareness and education about the overdose crisis that we face. Save the date for 2 events. One is next Wednesday, the 25th of August. We're having a special chronic pain alternatives to opioids workshop we're going to be doing at 2510 South Loop 336 West. We'll have info again on the post. And the next one is our big event. It's going to be our overdose awareness walk, which is going to be Saturday, August 28th at 8 a.m. Again, we'll have the address below. Please join us. We have multiple individuals. Janelle, do you know if you're going to be with us that day?
Yeah, I'll be there too.
Okay, perfect. We have recovery centers. We have support groups. We have different individuals in the health and wellness field that will be there to, again, provide awareness and help educate how we can avoid this crisis. And if someone is in this crisis, how we can best address it. Again, you're not alone. There's definitely strength in numbers when it comes to this crisis we're facing, the overdose. So thank you, Janelle. Thank you guys for being with us, and we'll see y'all next week.